Does your new or current disability sometimes overwhelm you so much that all you can think it's not fair? Last time it happened to me, even though I'm a lifelong disabled person, is when my puppy jumped on me and broke my hip, sent me to the hospital. I didn't know I would have to be in rehab for 4 months, didn't know if I could even come back to walking again. The doctor said it's gonna be months, maybe years. And all I could think when they were asking me, so what's your goal? Is it's not fair. And you're right. Why should you be disabled? Why should I be disabled and not my neighbor? It is not fair. That feeling is 100% valid. And the goal of this video is not to change your mind about whether or not your situation is fair. It's about what do we do with that feeling? How can we take that raw, unfair reality and find a new kind of fair for ourselves? Right here, right now. That moment of shock, whether you've dealt with your disability your whole life or it's a new thing for you and you're trying to wrap your mind around it, it's a real thing. Your brain is trying to process a massive shift. And the first place it goes is, why me? This isn't right. I haven't done anything to deserve that. That is a completely natural and human response, and I don't blame you for it. It's your mind's way of grappling with a fundamental change in your world. That feeling often comes with a fear of external unfairness, too. The worry that the world outside, the systems, the people, and the built environment might not be on your side anymore. That's a valid fear to acknowledge. It's real. But here's the trap, and this is where it gets important. If we let that feeling of it's not fair become the only story we tell ourselves, we internalize it and it lives in our bones. It becomes something that is stopping us from using our potential. That reality should not define how we see ourselves. We can get stuck in the injustice of it all, focusing on what we've lost or what's been taken away. But if we do that, it becomes very hard to adapt. And adapt to allow us to have a new start is what we want to do eventually. So the challenge is not to pretend that the unfairness doesn't exist. It's to acknowledge it without letting it become the boss of you. You're the boss. Adaptation and finding a new way to live well, it requires a different kind of focus. It requires us to switch from why this is happening to me to okay, this is happening. Now, what can I do with it? I want to give you what I call 3 pillars of self fairness. If the situation is unfair, then we have to do whatever we can to at least be fair to ourselves. The first and maybe most important thing that we have to rethink is what you expect of yourself. I call this the pillar of kind expectations. Back to my hospital bed. The thought, this will take months or years, is terrifying because it clashes with everything we're taught about productivity and bouncing back. Our old baseline for a good day is suddenly irrelevant. So, what's a fair expectation now? This is where a simple mental trick can change everything. I want you to imagine talking to a dear friend, someone you really love in your exact situation. They've had this injury, this illness, this diagnosis, this new limitation, and they're disappointed with themselves. What would you expect from them on a Tuesday afternoon? Would you expect them to be cleaning the whole house? No. Would you expect them to be fully recovered? Maybe not. In a day, in a week? No. You'd probably say, hey, it's good you got out of bed and moved a bit. That's good for you. Hey, you managed to make yourself a meal. Great. Maybe next week you're able to make two. You'd celebrate this tiny progress. You'd be kind to your friend because you'd know their situation is not easy. Why is it so hard to give the same grace to ourselves? We hold on to that ghost of before, that version of us, the one who could do all the things, and we beat ourselves up for not matching the image. The thing is that later we will discover there's still a lot we can do, and we might even find new ways of doing what we did before. But we don't know just yet. The fairest thing you can do is to meet yourself where you are, not where you think you should have been. This means redefining what victory looks like. Victory might be simply getting through the day without a massive energy crash. It won't always be like that. These things are not small, they're legitimate, they're huge accomplishments in your context. This pillar of kindness is about giving yourself permission to set the bar where it actually is. Not on the floor, not on the ceiling, where it is fair for you. You can ask yourself, is this a kind expectation? Or am I trying to prove something to the ghost of my past self or to someone else? That's the foundation of self fairness. Here's the next part: actually making choices that are based on that kindness. This is about choosing what helps you adapt, what helps you be okay for now. It's the willingness of doing what is good for you and less of what is not good for you, of what is harming you, whether it is physically or mentally. Letting go of what harms you is not a sign of weakness. It's a profound act of self respect and care, and ultimately wisdom when you train yourself to recognize it. But that comes later. These small, kind choices honor your current capacity. Are you giving yourself permission to prioritize your well being for now without guilt? Fairness is not about pushing through at all cost. It's about building a life that works for you, not against you. Now, this is not a one and done thing. Your capacity will change with time. So, the third pillar is about having honest check ins with yourself. This is accountability, but with compassion, not criticism. Think back to the dear friend analogy. You wouldn't set a rigid, unforgiving goal for someone that you love and never check in with them to see how it goes, right? You gently ask, how is it working for you now? You periodically revise your expectations as you learn more about your new normal. The goal is to avoid locking yourself into a plan that is not flexible enough. Some days are better, some days are harder, and there's still progress. It's about being flexible, but also being honest. If your competent physiotherapist asks you to do exercises and you don't do them, you have to honestly ask you why. Why not? See, this is going back to doing more of what's helpful and less of what is not. You have to be fair. When you hold yourself accountable, you have to be fair enough to be honest and fair enough to be flexible. So, friend, your physical situation might never feel fully fair. I still go through times where I think mine is unfair after 48 years, but I don't always feel like that. Give yourself permission to feel and start practicing self fairness, one kind choice at a time. And if you'd like to work with a coach like me to support and help you find what is really good and what worked for you, give me a shout. I would be happy to hear from you.